All right, man, peace. You know, brothers, a while back, I did a series of videos called Responding to Your Comments. And within the comments section of one of the Responding to Your Comments videos that I did, I received a litany of comments and also messages from more than one cat asking me about two things: semen retention and also jerking off. And I realized that the reason why so many cats are asking me about these concepts is because they feel guilty about the fact that they're sitting home all day trying to pleasure themselves because they have very little understanding of themselves or the woman. And that's because this society teaches young men to take women far more seriously than women take themselves. And I cannot accentuate that enough, brothers. You guys take women way too seriously. I tell you guys this all the time. For the most part, the woman is a child with breasts. Are there exceptions to that rule? Of course. There are some mature women out here who know how to handle their business, who know how to prioritize their responsibilities. But for the most part, the woman is a child with breasts. And when you approach them with that understanding of who and what they are in your mind, it keeps you from getting involved in situations that end up being deleterious to your mind state. And a lot of you guys are hurt mentally and spiritually because you were not taught properly about the female archetype. You were not taught properly about the feminine principle. So let's just get back to the point about semen retention. It's very important. You must always take inventory of yourself and make sure that you're being led by your top head, not your bottom head. And look, we're all men. Sometimes the bottom head might gain dominion if you're not careful, okay? Titties, ass, coochie, lips, all wonderful, all gifts from the Most High. Spectacular. I get it. But at the same time, we have to know how to keep things in their proper perspective. That means what? The coochie is the cake, not the steak on the plate of life. Okay? The steak is what we have to understand should be our priority. That means the attainment of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Number one, on spiritual matters, but also on carnal matters, because that's going to result in what? Us becoming better people. Also optimizing our earning potential. Without money, you cannot keep the woman even if you want the woman. Please understand that. But you should be trying to accumulate money so that you can make your life more comfortable. That's what money brings. It brings an ease of mind. Once you know how your money is going to be flowing in, that allows you to think about other things. When you don't know how your money's coming in, then you cannot pay proper attention to the other aspects of your life. But just getting back to the woman, once again, the vagina is the cake. It's not the steak. And that's why even in Spanish, they have a slang term for vagina. It's called bizcocho. It means cake. Why is that? Because it gets sliced up and it has frosting. It has frosting in there. Okay? But cake, if you eat it every day, is just empty calories. Please understand that. The steak is the main course. That's where you get your nourishment from. That's the real aspect of life. The cake is extra. It's dessert. And I'm speaking as a grown man. A lot of you guys out there, 18, 19 years old, you don't understand that yet. You just wake up thinking about your next piece of ass. I get it. But that's also why you make most of your life mistakes during that time frame, from 16 years old to about 25 years old, maybe even 30 years old. When you're being led by your bottom head, you cannot allow that. You have to be led by your top head, because that's going to make all the difference in the world. Most of the major mistakes that men make is because they're overly infatuated with pussy. Please understand that. Pussy is great. I get it. Pussy is great, but that's why I liken it unto ice cream or cake. You cannot have that every day. When I say you cannot have it every day, you cannot constantly be on a pussy chase. You have to be on a knowledge chase, because the paper chase will come after you understand the knowledge of how to accumulate or attain these carnal things. You have to understand things on a higher level first. Just getting back to this video, though, the reason why I decided to start speaking on the concept of semen retention is not only because brothers kept asking me about it, but also Cam Newton, the star quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, sat down and made a declaration. That being that he's going to practice semen retention for a whole month this year in an attempt to build himself up. And that's one of the main reasons why you would practice semen retention. Now, there are different ways to do so. You can practice abstinence, which means no sex. Or you can practice semen retention, meaning what? You can penetrate the woman and stop yourself short of orgasm. Certain cats might say, why would you want to do something like that? In the process of you building your body up, your self-discipline, also your overall mental acuity, your wherewithal, When you can maintain as much sperm as possible, understand sperm is basically life force energy in liquid form. It takes 40 droplets of blood to make 1 drop of sperm. When you ejaculate, sperm is mostly made up of zinc and selenium. That's why for some of you guys who might have low libido or suffer from a low sex drive, they'll tell you to eat foods that are high in zinc or selenium, because that is what your sperm is comprised of for the most part. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
What on the Cam Newton, who just let a bombshell drop about the month of March. He's saying that in this month, March, he's not doing one thing. Babcock, can you guess what Cam Newton is not doing this month?
No sex.
He ain't getting his freak on.
Zero
no sex.
sexual activity. When I say sex,
happening.
I mean S-E-C-S, sex.
Sex.
Brothers, let me say something very quickly, because many of you struggle with the concept of waging a quote-unquote gender war with the woman. You're never supposed to succumb to the concept of a gender war with the woman. All that does is tell her that you believe that she's on your level. When you can control your carnal desires, that's going to make the woman want to subject herself to you even more, because sex is supposed to be viewed as a treat for her as much as it is something that she expects. When a man tells a woman no, if we were to compare how a woman reacts when she's turned away by a man for sex to how a man reacts when he's turned away by a woman for sex, they always make a huge deal in this society about men supposedly harassing women. You go ahead and turn down a woman for sex, or if she tries to ask you out on a date because she's attracted to you, all of a sudden you hate your mother, you must be gay, you must be this, you must be that. That's how you know that the woman is far more sexualized than the man is. And if you want to take it to an even higher level, learn how to discipline yourself sexually and watch how the women just start to come at you, because they're going to notice something different about you when you're not leading with your bottom head. Remember something, and it's an old slogan, but no one has ever lost women chasing money, but you will lose money chasing women. There are very few women on the earth who are worth pursuing. I'm going to say it again. There are very few women on the earth that are worth pursuing. Very few. Most of them are basically Mr. Potato Head dolls. They're all the same. You just take off one head, put on another. Are there some standouts? Sure. But for the most part, they pretty much all blend into one another.
He's not having it. Now, here's the deal. And when we say no sex, we're not going to get too deep into this. Is a family show.
Right.
No pun intended. You're not going to get too deep.
Right.
But
right.
no, it's not just the sex. He's not having any sort of...
no climax.
No climax is what he's saying.
So really what that means is that it's not just the sex. It actually is the sex. He probably is going to make love with his woman, but he's going to try to discipline himself by not orgasming, because he does not want to deplete the minerals in his body. That's why even boxing trainers for many years would tell their fighters to not have sex while they were in training, because women weaken legs.
But yeah.
He made this revelation on the Late Late Show with James Corden. Listen to Cam explain while he's giving up
why he's doing this.
Yeah, so listen to why he's explaining it right here.
So we got, vegan in February, and then March, I'm giving, I hope this is an adult crowd, it looks like it is, no climax.
Notice he didn't say no sex, he said no climax. He said he's going vegan in February, and in March, no climax. So he's still going to be hitting up his woman or his women. He's just not going to be busting a nut. Now, supposedly, according to the concept of tantric sex, there's a way for a man to start having an orgasm similar to a woman, where you send shudders up your entire body. Like when a woman orgasms, she orgasms different than a man does, because there's a resonance throughout her entire body when she orgasms. For a man, of course, we just ejaculate outward. Sometimes, if your nut is bust hard enough, you might get a different reaction. But at the end of the day, the point being is this: through the concept of tantric sex, which involves semen retention, where the man is making love to the woman, he can send that reverberation or that vibration up into his body as opposed to expelling his semen outward. So I believe that that is what Cam Newton is going to be practicing, because that will allow him to maintain the essential minerals in his body that he's going to need in order to try to take his athletic career to another level. Because once again, brothers, when you expel that sperm out of your body, it takes your body at least 2 to 3 days to rebuild what you lost when it comes to very essential minerals. So you guys who are out here jerking off 2-3 times a day, you should be ashamed and embarrassed of your damn self. Number one, you have to think of something that's more productive for you to do. Number two, go out there and meet a decent woman, man. There are decent women out here. A lot of them ain't shit. We know that. I'm just playing, allegedly. But yeah, I mean, go out there and meet a decent broad, man. And if you can't meet a decent broad, pick up a hobby. Go to the gym. Work out. Make yourself alluring so that women approach you. Understand the importance of your seed. That's why I make these videos about protecting your seed. Your seed has life force energy in it. Why would you just expel it willy-nilly over frivolity? Now, in and of itself, is there anything wrong with masturbation per se? And I'm sure that certain people who are quote-unquote holy rollers might get upset with me saying this, but no. There's nothing wrong with it per se. For example, if you go to Genesis, the 38th chapter, there's a section there where one of the patriarchs, Judah, he has a son by the name of Er. Er pissed off the Most High, so the Most High struck him down. Judah has another son named Onan. It's Onan's job to take Er's ex-wife and inseminate her so that she can raise up a son in Er's name. And we see that in Deuteronomy, the 25th chapter, starting at verse 5, where it tells you that if two brethren dwell with one another and one of them passes away for whatever reason, his brother has to take on his former brother or his deceased brother's wife, inseminate her so that he can keep his brother's name alive. That's how they answered the question of the quote-unquote widow and the quote-unquote baby daddy in the ancient world, so that there was no confusion, because that was very important in the ancient culture, that you could trace your lineage. The point being is this: what Onan did incorrect, and why the Lord killed him, because Onan did take Er's ex-wife and had sex with her, but he pulled out and skeeted on the ground. He broke the law, which states that he had to inseminate his brother's wife. So what he did wrong was not the act of masturbation. What he did wrong was not inseminating his brother's wife. But all in all, should you be working all day at the library or at the gas station and all you're thinking about is going home and beating your meat? No. You have to think of better things to do with your time, brothers. All right? So learn to use the components and the fluids in your body to make yourself stronger and better. And I mean, every once in a while, you're going to have a moment of weakness and go do your little Popeye thing in the corner with your Vaseline. But don't make it a habit of doing that shit every day, 2 or 3 times a day. I mean, that's off, man. Meet a broad, make that shit work. And if she don't know how to act, send her on her damn way.
Shut the front door. Straight up. No. I'm going through a transition right now. For me, doing certain things that challenge me in the off season that I can't necessarily do. So now, when the season comes around, it makes my mind stronger.
Absolutely.
I feel like if I go back and I say I did those things, I'm mentally stronger. Wow.
You are not only mentally stronger, also spiritually stronger. It's a very similar concept to fasting. Anytime that you're able to withhold yourself from certain things that you're accustomed to indulging in, it's going to make you a stronger person. That's why a lot of these broads out here, these liberal women, these big whores, they become quote unquote abstinent because they think that they can get back their virginity. But really, they sense within their body that there's a high level of toxicity from all the different penises that have ran up in them. So now they want to be abstinent for a certain period of time. They think that that's going to get the demons out. It's not going to work, but good try. Point being is this, brothers, just to get back to the topic of the video. That's what semen retention is about. Semen retention is about maintaining the minerals in your body that are essential to making sure that you're thinking clearly and that you're as strong physically and spiritually as you're supposed to be.
Wow. Cam.
Doing it for the love of football.
Look,
being a good quarterback.
You know what I love about that?
And what?
Is he tried to shake David Boreanaz's hand, and David Boreanaz not.
Yeah, David Boreanaz said, "Better you than me, guy. I'm about to bust a nut tonight."
I'm not shaking on that, dog.
Nah, that ain't cool.
Yeah, that's not what.
Be funny as hell. Cam went to shake David Boreanaz's hand and their hands got stuck together. Cam said, "Hey, what's going on here, guy?" David Boreanaz, "Sorry, had to let one out backstage."
Bones does.
Look at this photo here. It says, "Nearly departed. They have a magnifying glass over both of their eyes, over David Boreanaz's left eye and the female actress's right eye. And it says, nearly departed. They're showing you that they're what? They're of the quote-unquote walking dead. They're Luciferians. That's how they're able to maintain in the entertainment industry. Remember that film, They Live? The guy had the special glasses where he could see people were not actually how they appeared to the naked eye. They were actually an invading force of quote-unquote reptilian aliens. That's what this promo here is meant to show. David Boreanaz and his co-star on this show, they're Luciferians, man.
It's in the name of the show, Bones.
Bones.
You know what I mean?
You thought it meant something else.
Yeah.
Of course, people are going to say, no, it's talking about the show Bones, where they have to track down killers and blah. No, that's what that post is about.
Yeah, you
Now
thought
you
it was
know.
something else. Now you know.
You know what?
What do you think
He
about
made a
that?
critical error. He picked the wrong month to do this, man.
Which
if
is?
you're going to do the no climax month, you don't do it in a month with 31 days like March. You
What do
do
you
this in February.
Oh, the shortest month of the
28
year.
days. He could almost be done right now.
But
Well, he said he was going vegan in February.
here's still though, you can't do it in February, though.
Why not?
That's Black History Month.
Oh, do you have to? Do you
Yeah,
have to?
man, you gotta show the sisters some love in Black History Month, man. You don't want to be, you can't be celebrating
I
Black
didn't
History
know that
Month.
that's how you celebrate it.
Yeah, man, this is what we celebrate our sisters. We celebrate them with our words. We celebrate them with our...
This dude is so full of shit. This guy Van Lathan is one of these big black super liberals. And every time he's on this show, he's fawning over some white woman. I mean, that's his business, but then don't come back with the pro-black be black shit on the back end.
our actions, but we also celebrate them.
Man, when March 31st or April 1st rolls around, I feel sorry for
feel sorry for
damn
this
girl, bro.
I know, damn, right? Shit. When April 1st roll around, Cam gonna bust the biggest nut his wife ever seen. He goes, April Fools. Clean all that custard up off the ceiling. But anyway, brothers, that's what the concept of semen retention is about. I'll probably be continuing this series because I've seen other quote-unquote celebrities speak on something that is akin to this. All right? But once again, don't ever let your bottom head be your general. Your top head has to be your general. The bottom head is a soldier. All right? That's not just the corporal down there. So peace.